Welcome back to 1 Hour Sports TV. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, share, and comment your thoughts. We will be analyzing the fire in the red half of Manchester with Nolan. Now, would it be unfair to say that at the moment this United team look anything but a band of brothers?
No, they don't. Let's just allude to it. The performance the other night against Crystal Palace is nowhere near. It's not a Man United performance, and you look at these Man United squad and you compare it to the likes of, and I don't keep harping back on, but when you look at it, the likes of the Royal Kings, the Scholes and the Beckhams, it's a totally different team. It doesn't look like there's a togetherness, it looks like they play as individuals, and that's why they're not getting results at the moment. And the big thing is, and as guys say as a manager, you've got to work hard, you run through brick walls, you're playing for Man United Football Club. It's still one of the biggest teams in world football, if not the biggest team in world football, and you can't just expect you're going to turn out to Crystal Palace and get the 3 points, because it don't happen like that now in the Premier League, and that's what it looked like. And listen, they can tell me they've got injuries, every football club's got injuries. Your squad should be big enough to be able to go to Crystal Palace and get a result. It was a fantastic result, but at the moment they're not producing. Let me tell you, if they play like that against Man City in the FA Cup final, it could be 7 or 8, because Palace could have easily beat them 6 or 7. They missed numerous opportunities on the night, but it was a great performance from Palace, but poor from Man United. What do you sense, Gary, that they'll do about Erik ten Hag? Because yes, he's had the backdrop of injuries, but then a lot of clubs this season, you look at the likes of Luton, Newcastle to name, but a few have had lots of injuries this season. There's been a rumbling on of the ownership issue for a lot of this season and beyond, but surely as a club they cannot continue to go through this cycle of replacing a manager every couple of years or so. Have they got to stick with him for you? Well, I think it's unlikely that they do. If you're a new owner coming in and you've seen the level of performances that we spoke about, INEOS mentioned it earlier, they don't look like they're playing for the manager. I think Erik ten Hag said something after the game that I thought was really striking. He said we had a clear defensive structure. They've lost 4-0, so therefore he's kind of blaming the players a little bit. But the fact of the matter is, when there's that lack of synergy in terms of what you're saying and the performance, well, the other week he called them the most entertaining side in the Premier League, didn't he? Yeah, I've been in that position where you're under pressure, and sometimes in interviews you're just trying to clutch on to things that perhaps take the focus away. But I think if you're those owners coming in, I think it's clear you have to probably make a change just to see it. But there's a lot of work to do behind the scenes. Well, you look at some of their recruitment. I mean, we talk about being out running games, but at times they're putting teams out that just cannot physically live with the top 4 teams, let alone technically. I said a couple of weeks ago, I think they need Ancelotti. I know Ancelotti's got another year left at Real Madrid, but they could go on and win the Champions League. I know he's not a step forward, but you bring him in for a year, you've got Jim Ratcliffe upstairs, you get him in, you get him there for a year, and he comes and he goes, you know what, at the end of the season, keep him, get rid of him. He's a bad egg, get rid of him. This bloke has worked with the best in the world, You watch this Real Madrid team, they've got superstars and they run around. That's because of the manager. So you need someone to come in and just to sort it out, because at the moment it's just going to keep on going along. Man United are a million miles off, and they will be again next year and the year after. They're not 1 or 2 signings away. They're a long way away, and I know you hear the back scenes at Man United, and they're going to stop this, and they're going to stop that, and you've got to come into work. That ain't where it's all wrong. It's all wrong on the pitch. They're the ones who are getting the 300 grand a week, not the people working from home getting whatever they're getting a week. It's the ones on the pitch. Sort that out. Don't start nipping around with nitpicking with other things like you hear. Sort it out, and they need to sort it out. And I think you need an Ancelotti who comes in, who's worked with superstars and needs to remind these players they're not superstars.